We have the 4th edition of the Trench Report coming up, and I'm happy to say it's a more positive version than the first 3 weeks. And so let's get into it. This is how I grade. It's pretty simple. Plus for getting the job done, minus for not getting the job done. Double plus if your block results in a big play or a touchdown. Double minus if your block or lack thereof results in a penalty or a sack or a tackle for loss of some sort. 85 is the standard. 85 or above means you had a good game. Anything less than 85 means you have some work to do. And by and large, everybody balled out. We still have a lot of work to do, especially on that left side, but we're going to start on the right side. And the first person I want to start with is Spencer Anderson. I told you I thought he had a really good camp this summer in Latrobe, and he hadn't been used this year up until this point, and Arthur Smith implemented him into the run game, into some packages. He had 19 snaps at the tight end position. He was just another lineman. He didn't go out in any routes or anything. And with him at that spot, we were able to run effectively some zone toss, some inside zone, and some counter plays. And I thought he played admirably. For his first action out there, he gets a 95. I think there was only one play, and I was being very sticky because I didn't want to give him 100. I didn't want to give out a whole 100 yet on his first start. But he could have came off. It was still like a 9-yard gain. He could have came off on the overflow backer. But Spencer Anderson, great job. Glad you got some action. You did good. The one I want to talk about the most, though, Troy Fontano. He rebounded in a big way. His previous grades right here were he started out strong and then had a lull. Worst game of his career, of his short career, was last week versus New England. And this week, he stepped up in a big way. It was really cool to see him rebound. Anytime you see a young man have a bad game, the first thing you want to see is how is he going to come back? Where is his mindset going to be? How is he going to play? He was aggressive. He did not let last week's game linger into this week. Couple of mistakes. He did not give up a did he give up a sack? No, it was Isaac gave up the sack and Zach gave up a sack. He did not give up a sack. He did give up a hit on the quarterback. No penalties, but I thought he played really strong in the run game and was solid. So that was great to see. Mason McCormick had a day. That boy played his butt off. And it was really cool to see. There was a play that we had in the fourth quarter where we just ran up the middle and you just saw purple bodies moving back. And at the bottom of that pile was Mason McCormick on top of somebody serving some pancakes like we love to do on the O-line. And he was up there signaling first down. And whenever you see an old lineman having fun like that, it's a good day. And so Mason was leading that charge. And it was really cool to see him ball out. And the number 66, we cherish that number, Mr. Alan Faneca. He lived up to that number yesterday. So it was cool. Zach Frazier was solid. First play of the game. He had a couple of miscues. There was one run play where he identified the backside guy and the front backer came free and made the play. But one low snap that Aaron Rodgers had to pick up off the ground. He was still able to complete the pass. But solid. Zach was solid. Not spectacular by any means, but he played winning football, and that's what you want from your center. Isaac, again, another solid game. More communication. That's what I love to see. That's what I wanted to see from him because he was brought in to lead this O-line. He's the lone vet with experience, Super Bowl experience that we've mentioned multiple times, and he was solid. Not great. I still would like for him to pick it up more. I think he does not like three-point stance. Maybe I'm just being an old curmudgeon or whatever, but I like my guards to be in a three-point. He refuses to get in a three-point unless it's like a short yardage situation. That's just his thing. And I think Broderick feeds off that a little bit on the left side because everybody on the right side gets in a three-point stance when the situation calls for it. Isaac is two-point all the time. Don't know why. That might be his thing, but solid game, not spectacular. Broderick, not a good game. Now, there were some good things that he did. Obviously, hustling down the field and picking up that fumble was huge. Even trucked the D lineman on that play as well. But the issue with Broderick, he had a little step back this week after having a solid game or a decently solid game last week. He needs to get in the weight room. He gets tossed around out there. If he's not combo blocking with somebody, if it's a single block, he loses more than he wins. And you can't have that at left tackle. Don't want to be too tough on the kid because it's still early in his career, but 3 years in, he still does stuff that a 3-year veteran shouldn't do. He has to clean that up. He is the weak link of this O-line so far, and I think a lot of the reason we used Darnell Washington and Spencer Anderson was to help him. he needs to help. We got Myles Garrett after this bye week, and Myles Garrett is playing probably the best out of any defensive player in the league right now. He is a man child, and Rodgers going to have his hands full. He needs to use this bye week to get in the lab, do some squats, do some leg curls, get those legs strong, because he needs to add probably some more weight and a little bit more strength in the weight room in order to be a better left tackle. Because right now it's not winning football.
And I
What's
think
Go ahead.
when I look at this, the question, I have two questions relates to the left side of the line. You talk about Broderick and the struggles that are happening. Do you think that is because he went from the right side to the left side, and it's going to take him time to, get to where he needs to play at the level of your expectation?
Nope. I don't think that has anything to do with it at this point. He is who he is going to be right now. He needs to get stronger, dude. There was a play on the zone where the linebacker Pace hit him backwards and made the tackle all in one play. And he could not handle Jonathan Allen one-on-one. He was getting tossed and pushed into Aaron Rodgers. He can't handle the bull rush at all right now. That is his weakness. He plays very high. And so, like I said, I'm not trying to come down too hard because it's been a positive week as a whole. I thought he did make some good plays, especially in the run game, but he has to get stronger because left on the island, he is a liability. And so I don't think it has anything to do with a switch.
The second question I have for you is Isaac Seumalo, the sack that he gave up. They're pushing to the left as they're turning, and he's supposed to have a double team with Zach Frazier there on that nose tackle that happened. At what point does the guard have to feel that the double team and that tackle is not going to be able to penetrate the double team and allowing him enough time to get to his guy, who ultimately made the sack? But me watching it, I feel if he came off of the double team too fast, the nose guard would have been the one to create the pressure and had the sack. So what do you say? Because you know it better than I do.
That was a interesting look because Zach made the fan call. Fan means there was an outside, their linebacker that they're working towards was outside the end. And so he had a shade or two that Zach had to go to, and Isaac had to fan all the way out to the end because Broderick had to set for the guy coming off the edge who was outside the end. And so what happened actually was Isaac got held by Jonathan Allen, the D tackle. So he couldn't kick out as hard as he tried to post and help Zach. He probably didn't need to because of the look that happened. When you get those type of looks, when you got a wide end and then the linebacker outside that you're responsible for, you got to set back fast. And the one thing that D tackles are always going to do is going to grab you so that their guy can come free. And that's exactly what happened. You can't get grabbed. That's still Isaac's fault. It's his job not to get grabbed. And so that's what happened. Jonathan Allen grabbed him, made him turn his hips to try to get through, and he wasn't able to get a good block, and he was able to get the sack on Aaron. And so that was a big sack. Isaac knows better that he can't get grabbed on that because 9 times out of 10, the ref is not going to call it. And so D linemen are going to be incentivized to do it every time.